See, I will quickly take you through the basic rationale for having resolutions. Now, what is just flagged in the draft political resolution but cannot be gone into in greater detail and which needs a much more amplified pronunciation, those are taken up for resolutions. Apart from that, there are another set of resolutions which is really needed to be passed in response to certain very sudden abrupt developments. For example, we have just decided to have a resolution on Amit Shah's comment on the imposition of Hindi, and which is already creating a lot of reaction. Then we have this set of resolutions this time around, which goes into some of the important aspects of the economic crisis that we are going through. Then this is something very positive that we are having as a background to this party Congress, is the growing struggles, particularly of the peasantry and the working class. So there are issues of unity of the working class and peasantry. There are issues relating to tribal movements, relating to Dalit movements, and the gender question as well. Then we have this whole gamut of issues which is emerging from the impact of pandemic. The world over it has happened, and in India also, that the destruction of the public health system, and that really calls for some detailed analysis and the imperative of strengthening our public health system and infrastructure. So this is the broad range of issues we are covering, and for the reasons that I have already stated. The first day itself, we adopted a resolution on price hike. As you know, the situation of fuel taxes, it is already having very, very precarious impact on our livelihood and on the general conditions of living. And this reminds us also of what is happening in neighboring Sri Lanka. I mean, unless we keep reminding ourselves about the need to provide succor, but the government, instead of doing that, is really fleecing the people on the fuel tax. Then there is this question of central legislation for unorganized workers, because you see again what we have seen, that a sharp deterioration in the livelihood of the people. Then there is this question of social questions which have got intertwined with the class questions. So therefore the whole range of issues relating to gender rights, tribal rights, Dalit rights, all those issues are covered. But so far as the economic questions are concerned, since most of them are quite in a detailed manner covered in the draft, that question of privatization and of the migrant labor, I mean, which was brought to the fore against during the pandemic, those we are having a resolution. I must also just briefly touch on the international questions. Two resolutions have been adopted on solidarity with Palestine, because with greater aggression and greater degree of support from United States and its empire to what Israel is doing, and the militarization of the Israeli economy and their links with our own government, that is very, very important. And the other question of, you see, blockades were there to impose imperialist foreign policies. But now, added to that is the vicious manner in which sanctions are being imposed. Therefore, these are two areas which have been covered in the resolutions.